The Warriors, they'll hoist up the Larry O'Brien trophy if. What's the end of that sentence?
Ooh, that's a big sentence. So it all starts with one. Clay's got to be 85, 90% of Clay because the competition by the end of the season is going to be fierce, and things are about to get harder for the Warriors, who've had an easy schedule. Almost every game's been at home. So they got to get something from Clay, and I think they're going to need some health luck, bad luck, to befall other teams, whether it's Jamal Murray's slower to recover than we think, Kawhi Leonard doesn't become Kawhi Leonard if he even returns this season. The Nets remain, I don't know what to describe the Nets, a fiasco, whatever is going on with the Nets. I still think those teams at full health would be ahead of the Warriors, but if they get Clay back, and Clay's almost old Clay, they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the NBA.
Well, Zach, one
Richard,
thing
before you start, can you back up from the camera a little bit? Why is your face so close? Like, can you back up a little bit?
I have been asking you that for months, and you still won't address it when you're in this camera. So, back to my original point, Zach. The one thing that you're accounting for when you're talking about Jamal Murray and Kawhi Leonard is that Klay Thompson is coming back months before those guys. He's slated to come back in the next few weeks, where we don't have a timetable for Jamal Murray. We know it's going to be months, and Kawhi Leonard is going to be months. So we can't really throw those two iffy teams because Klay will have a whole few months to acclimate before those guys are even ready to start playing. That's one. I truly believe that the Warriors become the best version of themselves if the guys like Wiseman, if Poole, Gary Payton II, if Otto Porter, if those guys are studs. Because when you go back to the 15 and 16 team, the team that won 73 wins, the team that won a championship, their bench was furious. Their death lineup, all of those things were about a team and everyone moving at a cohesive unit. We know Steph, we know Clay, we know Dre. It's the rest of the guys that we will have questions about. And if those guys play well, then the Warriors should be the favorite.
I 100% agree with you, RJ. And it comes to the others. Yes, I agree with you. We know what Clay could bring if he's healthy. We know the experience that Andre Iguodala has, Steph Curry, and Draymond Green. But when it gets to the playoffs, or the guys like Jordan Poole, or the guys like Damian Lee, Wiseman, can they adjust on the fly? Can they pay attention to the little details, the things that don't show up in the stat sheet? Can they be able to be consistent when guys take away their strength on the offensive end and be able to counter and do things on, and do things in counter? Because we all know when the playoffs start, the scouting report book gets a little thicker, and guys key in on guys. So, throughout the regular season, you move on to the next game. But in the 7-game series, all of a sudden, things become a little tougher. Those shots become more meaningful. And so that's what I'm talking about when I look at the Golden State Warriors, like those others. Can Andrew Wiggins be that two-way player, defend a guy like LeBron James for a 7-game series, not stop him, but control him enough where they can actually win the series?
The scouting report gets thicker and the rotation gets shorter. I asked Draymond Green this exact thing. The Warriors win a championship if, and he said, if Jordan Poole continues to grow, if we continue to get better defensively, even though they're already pretty good at turning teams over, if they cut down on their own turnovers, and if they get Clay back. So we all are kind of in Draymond's head because I think we touched on all of those little things. But Perk, who is the player on the team that isn't Steph Curry, Draymond, Clay, that is a key to their title run?
It's Andre Iguodala, a guy that they brought back, a guy that they know is so valuable. And Richard, fix your damn face, bro. Just listen for a second. He is so key for that second unit. When I look at how he controls the game, being able to be that point forward type guy, because the Warriors do a lot of cutting and things of that nature. So when Steph Curry goes out the game, I love how Andre Iguodala steps up as a leader. So he is the most important in my opinion because it's so key for those young guys.
Okay, we get it. This is what I'm trying to express here. The fact that you're saying that Andre Iguodala, who I could have played against in college, and I'm 41 years old, is the key to them being successful. Andre is going to be an important piece to what they do, but it really comes down to Wiseman. if Wiseman can turn into, we look at what DeAndre Ayton has done, the jumps that he has made. He hasn't turned into this crazy offensive threat, but if Wiseman can learn how to roll and replace, and Stephen A., as much as I rarely quote the big fella, the OG brings it up. If you can win it with Andrew Bogut and you can win it with Zaza Pachulia, if Wiseman can develop into a good role player, he's highly skilled. He was the #1 pick. He has all of these things. If he can contribute just enough, then I think the Warriors have a very, very tough time being beaten.
Well, first of all, he was the #2 pick. Let's get that right.
Oh, excuse me.
And then second of all, the Golden State Warriors were better when Wiseman went down. They actually were better with Looney in the lineup. And so here's the thing. I know the ceiling is bright for Wiseman, but let's not act like him and Steve Kerr were not on the same page last year. So
he was 19 years old. He was 19 years old. No, he was 19 years old and was a rookie.
Okay,
it takes time.
I understand that, but it sounds like to me that you're hating on Andre Iguodala because he's able to still be athletic. He's still able to play at that age, and you wasn't. You became a mentor, but he's still able to provide those type of meaningful minutes that the Warriors need. That's why they brought him back, Richard. That's why.
Yeah, Andre Iguodala will be the key to winning the championship for the Warriors.
Well, he was a finals MVP. At one point, he was a finals MVP, Richard. Zach, I actually think Zach and I have had some interesting discussions. We've had some interesting discussions about James Wiseman, about his usage. So I am curious, Zach, who is your guy that you're looking at outside of their kind of core three?
Well, these guys, between making fun of each other, name damn near every player on the Warriors roster. And whenever you ask this question, it tends to be either young guys, oh, Wiseman's exciting, Poole's exciting, or old guys like Andre Iguodala. Perk mentioned the right name for like a second and moved on. And the name is Andrew Wiggins. Nobody ever brings up Andrew Wiggins because he's boring. He puts up the same numbers every year all the time.
They're going to need
the best version of Andrew Wiggins if they want to win floor playoff series. That's Andrew Wiggins, above average three-point shooter on good volume. That's Andrew Wiggins, like Perk said, defending everyone from #1 point guards to #1 wings.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.